Good afternoon and welcome back, distinguished members of the committee and members of the public. We are back from recess, and this morning we offered motions by the members of this committee to waive a hearing for Mr. Mike Sablon and Mr. Daniel Kittuga, both renominated to the same position they were occupying before. Their terms expired. They were filling an unexpired term of a previous board member for CETA, and time was of critical essence because the board needs unanimous consent to approve of an initiative that is forthcoming. So that is why we waived the hearing this morning. However, this afternoon we will be conducting a full hearing for Miss Carmelita Rebalaman Faisal, who was nominated by then acting Governor David M. Apatang on August 14th, 2024, to serve as a member of the Northern Marianas Technical Institute to represent Carolinian descent. The EAGI has the inherent responsibility of considering the qualifications and suitability of Ms. Faisal to serve as a member of this board. I want to remind everyone at this time to please silence all your electronic devices. And as a reminder, we are live streaming on YouTube and Facebook pages of the Northern Mariana Islands Legislature. And at this time, I would like to invite Mr. Paul Regis from the Office of the Governor and the nominee, Ms. Carmelita Faisal, to please come and join us in the chamber. Mr. Paul Regis will formally introduce the nominee to the committee. And Mr. Regis, you may begin when you are ready.
Good afternoon, Hafaday, Zantiro, Chairwoman Selena R. Babauta, and honorable members of the Senate Executive Appointments and Government Investigations Committee. For the record, my name is Jean-Paul B. Regis, Special Projects Coordinator under the Office of the Governor. I've been tasked by the Special Assistant for Administration, Mr. Arthur M. Babauta, to introduce our nominee. And on behalf of Honorable Governor Arno I. Palacios and the Honorable Lieutenant Governor David M. Apatang, I thank you for the time out of your busy schedule to conduct the public hearing and for the opportunity to appear before you today. I am pleased to introduce the Governor and Lieutenant Governor's nominee, Ms. Carmelita R. Faisal, for the Northern Marianas Technical Institute Board of Trustees to represent our Carolinian descent. Ms. Carmelita R. Faisal is well educated and has extensive knowledge, enabling her to excel in her field. She is a dedicated professional committed to delivering exceptional results in all her endeavors. She earned her Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration from Argosa University, Hawaii, and has been a member of NMTI since March of 2020. Governor Palacios and Lieutenant Governor Apatang placed their complete trust and confidence in Mrs. Faisal's renomination to serve on the Northern Marianas Technical Institute Board of Trustees. I know she stands ready to answer your questions and present her plans for the future. Her professional experience, credentials, and commitment to serving the Commonwealth in this capacity make her a viable candidate to serve once more on the NMTI Board of Trustees. Thank you, Madam Chair Babauta, Jesus Mosi, honorable members of this committee, Zangiliso, for the opportunity to introduce Ms. Faisal to this August body.
Jesus Mosi, Senor Regis. Ms. Carmelita Faisal, I now ask you to please rise and raise your right hand. And I will recognize the Legislative Assistant, Mr. Devin Macaranas, to administer the oath to you.
Carmelita R. Faisal, you do solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you shall give in the matter at hand shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You may be seated. Thank you. Ms. Faisal, I will now give you the floor to make any opening remarks should you wish to make any.
Buenas tardes. Ramamay Tiro Mefaisho to you all in this chamber. Thank you, Your Honorable Chairwoman, Mrs. Selin Babauta, and this august body for this opportunity to conduct my public hearing for my confirmation to serve again in the Northern Marianas Technical Institute Board of Trustee. I humbly extend my sususmasi and hiliso to His Honorable Governor Arnold I. Palacios and Honorable Lieutenant Governor David M. Apatang for their confidence in allowing me to serve in this capacity again. My name is Carmelita Mariam Raboliman Faisal, and I am ready to answer any inquiries or concerns from this august body. Thank you, Hiliso and Sisusmasi.
Sizusmase, Ms. Faisal, I will now open the floor for public comments. For those who wish to make public comments, I ask that you please state your name for the record and the entity you represent. The floor is now open for public comments. Is it?
Afade Antiro, Melvin Faisal from the Kagman, and we all know that she's my wife. However, I come here to also thank His Honorable Governor Arnold I. Palacios, and most especially to His Honorable Lieutenant Governor David M. Apatang for his reconsideration and for his confidence in resubmitting for reconfirmation of my wife to serve in the Board of Trustees for the Northern Marianas Technical Institute. And my also Sizusmasa and Giliso to you, Honorable Chairwoman, Ms. Selina Arbabota, and the August Honorable body members of this committee. And I wish that you would consider the renomination and for her confirmation. And with that, Sizusmasi Giliso Meolomai.
Sizusmase, Senor Faisal. The floor is still open for public comments.
Testing. Hafide Zantirawami. Good afternoon, Chairwoman, Senator Babauta, and fellow committee members. Great to see you guys. My name is Catherine Atto. I am a current Board of Trustee. I had the honor and privilege to be able to serve in my current capacity as a trustee with Ms. Carmelita Faisal since the beginning of our transition period from a private institute into government, or I'm sorry, private into government. And I just want to share that through our experience, one thing that has really stood out with me in working with Ms. Faisal is just the ability of her to really just serve with her heart. And I say that because when we came together as a committee, we kind of, I think, maybe had, still trying to understand what our roles are and so forth. But after time and learning how to work together, it was very clear that our purpose and priority was just our fiduciary responsibility to serve the institute and have that as a priority. And with that, every role that she has accepted, from a committee member, a trustee, to even serving as a treasurer in her last year or two as a trustee prior to her term expiring. She that has always just been her priority, checking in on campus, checking in on the team, doing documents and everything else that comes with the treasury duties. And so I just want to be here to show my support for her nomination. Again, it's been an honor and privilege to serve with her since the beginning of the NM Tech tenure. And so congratulations on being considered, and I really hope that you would approve. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Attal. The floor is still open for public comments. If there are no further public comments, we will close that portion of the agenda today and we will go back to it with our next nominee. We will now proceed with the question and answer, Ms. Faisal. And one of the first concerns that I have, actually, there are two main concerns that I have. One is the touchback that we are currently experiencing, which limits the access to workforce, particularly in the construction industry. And NMTech was established as a means to fill that gap because we know that contract workers will not be here permanently as it is under the control of the United States Congress. So I would like to hear your thoughts on the touchback issue and how do you propose as an NMTI Board of Trustees, how do you hope to fill in that gap?
Thank you. One of the things that they were doing during my tenure there is there's a lot of funding that were given to us for our local students that would take classes for construction. So that's something that I know we're working on now, currently working on, reaching out to the students and enticing them to come and take advantage of those funds that are available. Because I know we had some from, if I'm not mistaken, I wanted to ask the CEO, but from
The fees charged for contract workers.
NMHC, they gave us some funding for the construction students, and if they're locals, they're eligible to take advantage of that.
Okay, and then while that is noble intention and noble ideas, we're not exactly seeing the graduates of NM Tech being hired into private companies or the government in order to supplant the contract workers that we import.
Yes,
So we need to do something different.
yes,
We need to be aggressive. 2029
Support.
is right around the corner. And in 2029, there is an imposition from the U.S. immigration that was passed back in 2008. It's called the Consolidated Natural Resources Act, or
yes,
CRNA, which extended most provisions of the U.S. immigration to the Commonwealth, and we are in that transition period. And
Mhm.
December 31st, 2029, we do not know if the U.S. immigration will continue this program of allowing us to import contract workers. So there's a big gap there that we are hoping NMTI will fill
Yeah.
in terms of the construction trade. Because as far as we know, even the Department of Labor over the past several years has indicated that construction
It's
workers are
going
in the most demand at this
Yes.
time, and it will continue to be
Yes.
for the next decade at least. So how do we solve this puzzle? As if you were to be confirmed as NMTI Board of Trustees, we as a legislature would like to hear concrete, tangible plans.
One of the things I kind of know back then was we need to. So most of our students here, locals, they don't have like the transportation, so we would reach out, but to them that way. And another thing, we gave up
Okay.
all our boxes because we don't have the funding. So I think the main thing that we're lacking is funding for programs but I know that our CEO is working hard with MOAs and MOUs with other agencies so that we can bring our students out and experience hands-on first off. But
It's
Uh,
interesting. That's the first time I've heard that transportation is an issue for the students. I know it's an issue for students at the NMC, but I would like to recommend that you, should you be confirmed, coordinate with CODA. They're always looking for, what do you call it, stops to make,
I believe
because
we have that, yes.
they're still in their infancy, so they're still trying to, um, you know, formulate and finalize which stops they can
Mm.
establish. So I would like to recommend that CODA would be another source for.
I believe we do have that
Okay.
now. There's an arrangement with us and CODA to
Okay,
do that.
that's good to hear.
Yes.
Those are our two biggest concerns, and it's daunting on us because 2029 is
Yes.
just 5 years away, and we stand to lose all our contract workers at that point
True.
if the CRNA is not extended. I will come back around for the second round, but I will offer the other members opportunities to ask their own questions. At this time, I will recognize Senator Donald Magnolia.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Ms. Faisal, and welcome to everyone present here today. And thank you for the last 5 years that you've contributed to the NMTI. Can I ask, what is, it shows that I'm seeing on your resume that you're the president of, Urali Followers Association. Are you still currently the president?
Yes.
Are you able to share what the association is about? And
It's a non-profit organization where we promote our culture, mostly like Carolinian dances and cultures. And we even protecting like environment. We would write letters to the Senate or as a community from the Carolinians. So, and right now we have a group, a dance group for both men and women, and we teach our youth.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I just wanted to get to know you more on a personal level. I see some of the community involvement that you've listed, and we'd love to invite you to Rhoda anytime in your group to continue to share that culture. I know the last Coconut Festival we had, I think it was one of the first time a group of Carolinian dancers came down and really shared that culture with the people, and knowing with the understanding that we don't have a lot of
Yes.
follow us on Rhoda, and so we hope that your organization can continue to do that and promote that culture. But even within the community, the Follow Us community, are there some initiatives that would kind of invite them to enroll in NMTI and get them certified in certain trades? Is there an initiative or a movement that would offer that opportunity for NMTI to reach out to the Follow Us community as well?
Right now,
Yeah. Right now or within the past
initiatives.
yeah.
I'm not too sure.
outreach
I'm not-
programs or
Yes, I'm pretty sure NMTech is always out in those outreach. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure with Carolinian community.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
What about during your time I see that you've been with DFS for almost 25 years, and
Yes.
then now you're with D&Q for the past
Yes.
year. Based on your experience, have you seen some of the individuals in your workplace that have maybe thought about advancing in their career through NMTI?
Yes, as a matter of fact, when I was in DFS, I did. We had some workers, employees that were interested, and I kind of referred them up to the NMTech, and they got enrolled. Most of them were at that time they were interested in like cosmetology because of their work at
Yeah,
DFS, but we didn't have it yet at that time. but I know now I believe we're offering cosmetology classes.
Speaking of cosmetology and even the other classes, do you think it would be prudent that we also look at setting up through maybe Board of Professional Licensing or whatever board that may be established to also require to be state certified to have all this professions practice?
I believe when I was still in NMTI, I was still a member. We were introduced to like cosmetology classes, and that was one of the initiative was to first start off with having classes and then advance to being professional, because we're gonna be like we're gonna be losing a lot of the of CW workers, so
Right.
that would also help to bring in for those.
Okay. When did your term end exactly?
March.
March. During your time since 2019 up until March, have you seen a significant growth in enrollment within NMTI?
I believe when we just moved from, we just started as a government entity, we were like at 50 some students enrolled, and now last I asked it was 180, 87.
Okay. But that's spread across the different programs, correct?
Yes.
But seeing as how in 2029 we are losing when we lose the CW employees, which I believe majority of them are construction based.
Yes.
Has there been an increase in the construction field and construction courses within NMTI? Has there been an increase in that segment?
I'm sorry, I haven't. I didn't really look into that,
Okay.
but I can.
Yeah.
I can get back to you.
Yeah. I think maybe if confirmed, Ms. Faisal, I think that could be another area of focus
Yes.
moving forward. And how do we continue to promote and encourage our students to enter
Yes.
that field as well,
Especially.
and what the advantages are. And like you said, with the support of NMHC to help support students in that field, maybe I don't know. I'm not sure what the funding would do for them, whether it be to pay for classes or materials, but kind of just get a lot of the support to entice and encourage our students to enter that field. Are you familiar with any work with NMTI and PSS in getting the students who aren't enrolled in college or joining the military to go straight into NMTI?
Yes, I believe we do have an MOA with an PSS for that. I remember we had like summer for Tanapak Middle School, and they came to NMTI to start off and hands-on with programs that we have.
Okay.
So we are already starting with reaching out to the students,
Okay.
junior high.
All right. Thank you. And maybe one last question. If confirmed, and seeing as how you will serve another 4 years, what would be some of the initiatives that you would like to see implemented in your next term as a trustee?
Which was a very good way that you brought up construction, because since I started there, I just been like overall, we were trying to get programs, running, but now that you mention it, it's true. Construction is one of the most important, and I would like to reach out. I've been hearing a lot of our locals, mostly like family members, interested in construction, but yet I haven't seen them start off. So I'm not sure if they're aware how to start, how to begin, going into classes. But that would be one of my initiatives, to make sure I reach out to those kids, maybe through our Caribbean Affairs Office, so they, whoever goes there that needs kind of construction jobs or even just regular jobs, reach to them and bring them into NMTI.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Chair, just one last
Thank
thing
you.
that was kind of brought up from your response. There's a challenge in getting the instruction down the Rhoda, maybe, or even getting the kids to come up here and attend classes while also trying to find a place to stay. The municipality does have some real estate here in Saipan that we can kind of house our students, maybe, and that's something that we can consider in using as a dormitory, maybe for a limited term to allow our students to take classes. But also, are there any programs within NMTI that maybe allows for students to do more hands-on while supporting the needs of the community or needs of the government, similarly to like what the corrections office has with their probation
Yeah.
division that uses the inmates to do some of the activities, whether it be the construction part of activity, or to provide support to agencies that
Yes.
may need some assistance, whether it be mechanical repair or construction activities. I know that that's something that corrections has implemented and as part of their program to help reach out. Is that something that NMTI offers as part of their program where students can get on the job training or something like that? Is that
I
something that-
remember the CEO went down with her team to Rhoda, and they worked with the mayor of Rhoda, and I know they were securing like a facility to conduct like maybe just a class or something. So I'm not sure where she's at now with that, but I know there is a communication with something to bring down to Rhoda. I just not sure where it's at now.
But even with like some support from the students, like I know we have a housing unit in Navy Hill that is pending a contractor, but I know that like I said, corrections was part of the demolition project, and so now it's the renovation part of the project, and so something like that, like it's a government building, but if like a construction class within NMTI
Yes.
goes in and like kind of provides free service while also getting trained on top of that. I'm not sure if that program has been if that's a program that's part of NMTI, but maybe those are some of the stuff that can be considered. We also Rhoda needs a lot of help with equipment maintenance or repair, and so if you have programs within MTI that trains these students in the field of repair and maintenance, they could also receive some training there, while also assisting government entities in these repair costs and stuff like that. So hopefully that's something that we can consider. And so seeing as how we also recently confirmed Ms. Chanel, who represents Rhoda, that's certainly something that you can work together with to try to address some of the needs and come up with creative ideas into how we can reduce government operational expenses by contracting and going out to hire these companies, by allowing the students to get those trainings while also providing those free services to our government. And so
Yes, sir. Thank you.
that was all I had, Ms. Faisal. Again, congratulations on your renomination, and you at this time, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Donald. One of the things I want to state for the record is that the committee also received a letter of support for your nomination from Ms. Jodina Attal, CEO of NMTI. The committee received no letters in opposition of your nomination at this time. I just want to make one recommendation. Because you are president of a nonprofit Refalo Association, you are in a great position to recruit from your own community. So I hope you use that, your influence as president of that nonprofit to recruit. And the reason it dawned on me just now is because I hardly see any Carolinian students at NMTI. I could be wrong. I haven't been down there in a while, but you are in a great position to influence and recruit to NMTI. One of the other things I wanted to recommend also is to consider NMTI Board of Trustees conducting a survey in the municipalities in Tinian and Rhoda to see if there's more interest there. The facility, there's nothing prohibiting the government from moving the headquarters, so to speak, to Tinian or Rhoda if there are more interested students down there. And I hope that that's something you guys can consider should you be confirmed as a Board of Trustee. At this time, I will recognize Senator Paul Manglonia for his questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Ms. Faisal, for accepting the appointment by the governor. I know you served there for more than 4 years, and you've been there practically since we start getting more active with NM Tech, right? So thank you for your interest to continue serving. I know Senator Donald kind of asked this, but how active is the PSS technical education department in working with NM Tech? Are they very active? Because I know that that I think we all agree that we can also start from public school system, right, in the early high school years, and so we need to focus also on those PSS students. And is that something that the board trustee are looking into, so that we start young, and for those kids that want to go into specific career? And I'm just wondering, what kind of programs do you have presently for that students can take while going to school? What major can they go into? Hospitality, I guess automotive technology, what have you? Can you elaborate more on that?
Senator, thank you for your questions. I know I'm so sorry I didn't bring home the informations needed today. I just know that uh, our CEO is working closely with the PSS, and they have MOAs, MOUs going on between them, having programs for kids to come to our facility and like hands-on with what we have, the courses there. I'm just sorry I not really
Because you would agree, right, that
prepared.
if we start them
Yes,
young,
young.
they earn credits toward the high school diploma at the same
Yes.
time, trying to earn a nationally recognized,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
program certification. And I think we should focus on that also, because we mentioned last time that PSS has money, right? They have 25% guaranteed funding,
Right.
and you don't. So we kind of like channel
Yes.
some of these programs through
Through them.
PSS technical department, education department,
Yes.
and then make it available to the high school students,
Yes.
and to those also adults that uh, graduated years ago and want
Yes.
to go into those
Continue.
fields. So it's like trying to work this thing out. And yes, Rhoda, you mentioned transportation challenges. Imagine for those on Rhoda who have to move here, right, and
Yes.
also avail some of these programs that are being offered here. So uh, I'm just wondering, can we focus? And we brought this up to Chanel, the Rota rep. Actually, to we challenged her to get names and people, get a list of those that actually have interest and really want to come here to move to Saipan for a short time, so that they can get the skills and the
Yes.
training. And I kind of like want to hear more, and maybe in our future meetings, let us know how we can assist
Reach
those
out.
kids,
Yes.
and reach out to them so they know it's available. Because after all, CNMI scholarship can be applied for these
Yes.
programs. I don't know if they know that. And as well as the WIA, right,
Yes.
program, they can get paid and while learning,
Well,
and other opportunities. There are other foundation out
programs.
there, and I think if we channel them to the right people in the program, they can get a lot of financial assistance,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I just hope you can focus on that also. Um, with those from Rodantinian
Yes.
that really they're looking for jobs, and they're kind of like thinking if the job, for example, is on Tinian, not only do they have to go there and move, they kind of like worried whether they know how to do the job, right? Whether they
Yes.
can get trained easily and
Training.
transition into the job. So
Yes.
those are the challenges faced by some of these kids, you know.
Yes, sir.
So I don't have much question now, but I just want you to please help us try to focus a more active working relationship with PSS so
Okay.
that we can focus some of these programs on the young
Young
kids
kids.
and have these programs available in all the other trade areas, and that would also benefit those that have
Noted.
graduated years ago. You know,
Well
so
noted, sir.
thank you, Madam
Yes.
Chair, and thank you.
Thank you, Senator Paul. One of the reasons why I wanted to recommend that NMTI do a survey in the municipalities to see if there's more interest there than there are here in Saipan. I know we have a bigger population here in Saipan, but it is also to allow the municipalities to practice self-help by having their own skilled workers to build up their own economies so they're not as dependent on the central government. So it would really help the municipalities if there is an interest, a greater interest there. There's nothing that prohibits the central government from moving it over there. And we fail Tinian and Rhoda in this respect by not helping them or allowing them to promote and build up their own economies. So that's one of the things that I wanted to recommend. Also, should you be confirmed, this budget year, the fiscal year budget, we allocated of the 25% mandatory allotment to public school system, we allocated a portion of that strictly for NMC because NMC handles a lot of the public school students who enroll at NMC, and they're currently working on um, some initiatives that allow PSS students to avail of programs at NMC. So we did that in the budget this year. It's the first time it's ever been done, and we could easily do the same for NMTI. However, I'm not willing to consent to something like that unless we have statistics to back it up. We need to know demographics. We need to know how many students from PSS are being um, entertained or at NMTI, what grade levels. That is something that is within the power of the legislature. And when we say we would like to help other agencies, give us data, because we can't just say, here's money, and we don't have anything to justify it. So I wanted to toss that out for you, should you be confirmed by the full Senate. That is something for NMTI to consider providing this legislature. Of the 25%, we allocated, I believe, 600,000 for NMC alone. So that's something that I hope you take back, should you be confirmed, and consider that option. And reach out to the legislature. We don't have much questions for you. You have been in that position for a number of years, and we are confident that you know the institution that you were sitting as a board of trustee for. And so we have no further questions for you this afternoon. You are hereby dismissed, Ms. Faisal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It is now 2:19 p.m. and this committee will stand in recess until 3:30 p.m. when we formally reconvene to hear the nomination of Ms. Miranda Villagomez Banglonia, nominated for CUC board. This committee is now in recess.